aşağı göreyim.
Ja, bye.
that we will set up the X Pro 2025, and for this reason we're gonna need to move the cameras a little bit. We have some footage already pre-recorded, and we do have the bike.
I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care.
The X Pro, and we're planning to make a video of what it takes and how many things you need to just install on the bike so you have it working properly according to our standards. So take a look at this. All these have to be fitted to the beast under the box. And today you're gonna somehow see how we do it. Hey, I'm Thanasis, this is North Star Enduro. We're the beta enduro tools provider in Greece, and stay tuned. As you can see, this is health and safety of the workers here. So, and he is to blame for. All the proper unboxing of the bike starts with a lot of carrying and a lot of paper cutting. Whoever have purchased the Beta motorcycle or a Beta motorcycle and don't know how the hell to pronounce it correctly, have probably realized that there is tons of paper he needs to cut before he takes the bike out of the box. My knife needs sharpening. Second trial. Would you ever think that there was some kicking involved in unboxing? Living in a poor country means that you have to cut those tie-ups the proper way so you can use them again, because you won't find them in a cheap bag or in an offer anywhere else. They're extra long, so you have to cut them on the proper side so you don't waste the head, so you can use them a little bit, and thank Beta for that. Οπότε αν θες κόβε όταν στα... was talking about. But you have to tell them that you cut him because he fell down. You have it? I just love the smell of a brand new bike. It reminds me of my early days on the bikes where I was getting new bikes. A day's job if you wanna fix the bike properly, and it's not only about putting things back together, it's replacing the exhaust pipe, it's adding some Teflon tape to the joints, or adding protection, fixing the carburetor, adjusting the chain, changing the sprocket, removing the tubes, installing mousses, installing tires that we would like to run the bikes with. Protection on the radiator is going to take at least a couple of, I don't know, 1 hour, hour and a half, and all of our add-ons, if you want to change the headlight as well, it's going to take maybe more than a day. I think this is number 120 something Beta motorcycle that we are fixing in this shop since 2011. Fixing, assembling, putting together. So come here. This year we are running Clios. doing a collaboration with Vase Power Sports here in Greece. They are importing Plius. At the moment we are going to run them with the X-Grip mousses, but soon we're gonna get the Plius mousses as well. 140/80/18, it's the dimension we're gonna use in the rear, having the proper mousse harness. We're using the medium soft. Medium soft or
Medium.
the mousse?
Standard.
Standard mousse. So it bloats the tire properly. The front you don't mind it being soft, but the rear absolutely needs to be like this. So these protectors are mandatory and necessary to the bike, because having hits on that part back there in the bike reduces your value 100%, the after sales value. So it's better to break these instead of breaking the rear fork. We put on our bikes the P-Tech skid plates, which is not so light, but it is light. It saves the day, usually by preventing the pipe from getting severely bented from the rocks. And the link, it protects the link, because if you don't use a protection on the link, then you will have to pay a fortune fixing it or putting it back together. I think this is a 13 front sprocket, Ari?
13, yes.
13 front sprocket. What is the factory one? The factory is 14.
Factory is 14.
14. So we reduce the teeth by 1 to the bike. That gives us a little bit more torquey feeling. It jumps a little bit more because our terrain is demanding. The pull straps are mandatory and necessary. The sticker of Northstar is protecting the pipe, the exhaust pipe, from rocks and dents and everything. This year we're also running the Polysport clutch and brake lever, the P-Tech radiator guards, and I strongly recommend you use the basket. We call this the basket because it surrounds the radiator, adding extra a layer of protection to the radiator, because we've seen some nasty hits when riders drop the bikes on the rocks. These are service handguards, are not the one we're going to use on the bikes, right? We're going to use closed handguards, no?
For now.
For now. Okay. And engine covers, both the clutch side and the other side. And we are going to install the very best seat cover from Cross-X, which is the this one. It actually makes you get stuck on the seat while you ride on the bike, and it is a little bit thicker than the original one, giving you an extra layer of protection on when you have to scratch it on the rocks by falling. So these all have to be fitted on the bike, and we have to start the process now.
Cut.
Do not forget to charge the battery before you install it. If you don't charge it, it will start the bike, but it won't last forever. If you charge it, it will start the bike and it will last forever. Do not believe what they tell you. It's not a light battery, it's a quite strong and heavy one, and you need to charge it. Don't neglect the charging. That's what our mechanic said. Plus, it's a wonderful battery. In the box you will find the battery, you will find the air filter. You're going to use that one. You're going to take out the one it's using, and you have to use also the plastic base for it, because the one that is fitted on is a joke, and you will realize it's a joke. You will find the tools. The pouch is full of tools, it's very heavy. You will find the exhaust setup kit. It's the O-ring that you will put on the engine between the exhaust out and the pipe, and one little base that you have to adjust properly, otherwise you will find black stains on the pipe. 2 springs that are
This spring is for extra power in
The power valve.
mid-range, for the power valve spring.
so they're adding actually the springs for the power valve inside the kit, and it's green. which means extra power, less
Power
torque.
in extra power and torque in medium range,
medium
but
range.
you don't need
You don't need to.
use that because the bike is already
Needling. A big chapter in setting up the bike is needling. So if you want to change something on the bike, needling is the mandatory. Jetting, he says. Yes. Jetting is to install the jet. Needling is to install the needle. So needle and jetting. Uh, so what are you going to use?
everything.
All of them.
Yes.
Is going to install this kit, and we sometimes determine the height of the needle depending and according to the consumption on the bike. So when it's summer and the bike runs a little bit more linear and a little bit in more heat and hot situations, it's better to have the needle one scale higher, so it becomes more poor. And the opposite during the winter, you make it richer. That saves us a little bit of fuel and makes the bike a little bit more torquey in the low RPM. I don't know what your experience is. I would be glad to listen to read your comments on this. You will find the stock skid plate, which you will not need because it's little for what you need. Flashlights, license plate holder, no need. Frame guards, we do have aftermarket, but these actually are very nice this year, so we are going to use them as well. All these are not necessary. You will find in the box mirrors, of course. You will find the kickstand springs.
This is είναι για να κλείνει το stand αυτόματα.
Okay, it's an extra heavy duty spring that will make the kickstand go back when you lift the bike, but I don't kind of like it a lot. And the switch
Map
that
switch.
changes the map on the bike, the mapping. This is actually working this year, not only this year, and the last year. I tried it, it does a very good job. You will find the stock pull strap also from Beta Motors. It's actually nice because it has a rubber inside, and it is, when you fit it on the bike, it stays small. When you need to pull it, it becomes big, and it's a very nice thing. I'm gonna still use the aftermarket one. You have to use the protection on where you will install the mapping, because using this will save your chest from a lot of bumps and hits. I'm telling you, it happened to me many times. Also, you will find the aftermarket pipe that you have to use, and headlights. We here are installing an aftermarket LED light because we do like to have an extra amplification on the lights, and the plastic I don't know, I like it more than the factory one. I don't know if you do like it as well. This we get from Israel, from a very good friend, and the actual bulb in front does an amazing job. It's a 2-scale light, and it makes night into day switching on the bike. So mainly this is what you have to add to the things we have on the bench, and we will install them all on the bike, and we will have one bike ready to do the tours this season. Actually 2025 was the year that the bike changed and solved a lot of problems and situations they had on the radiator, because the radiator was too small for what we did, the extreme enduro and the hard enduro tracks. So they added the expansion chamber in the frame, and that saved a lot of stuff. Are we going to fit a ventilator?
Electric fan, yes.
Yeah, we are going to also install an electric fan with the automatic switch, the switch it has with the we call it the bubble, I don't know how you call the switch. We're gonna stick to that switch, and yeah, there you go. Some people do install the higher RPM fan, we install a stock one. That's for me, that's 100% right savior, because once you boil, the bike struggles and suffers. So let's get to work. Everything you do on the bike has to be on the working bench, otherwise you will struggle doing it. But you will need to take the exhaust that comes with, and you will need to do a lot of modifications. So if you keep it on the ground, you will struggle. If you don't have these lift, at least use the stand. And here we go. Usa para que me male frío aquí. Just a disclaimer that the music comes from Epidemic Sound and we have a subscription. So dear YouTube, if you're gonna cut the video because of copyright, I'm paying the damn thing, so please don't. One of my main complaints after using the bikes with the mix is that this pure white tank will become sick yellow after, I don't know, a month of using the bike. So you better enjoy it that you have it here. Πάνω στην ώρα.
Νερό. Έχω και ένα σοκολατάκι.
Πας κάνεις γυμναστήριο. Μετά πρέπει να κάνω νοσοκομείο, δεν ξέρω, τη μία δουλειά με ζήτησε να με δει ο διοικητής του νοσοκομείου. Στη δεύτερη τη βάλουμε silencer, mic, το βγάλουμε έξω για να αποκτήσουμε χώρο, για να ρυθμίσουμε το καρμπυλατέρ. First thing first, you need to remove silencer and pipe. Not only to install the FMF pipe that they sent you, but to have access to the carburetor, remove the head, install the jetting and the needles. That'll be great time saving if you do this. But anyway, you will take out the pipe, so do it together. I just made a mistake. It's not FMF anymore, it's an Arrow exhaust, so don't start killing me. It used to be FMF. It used to be an FMF. The ones who know me know that without coffee nothing happens. So coffee, so things will happen. If you want to take the setup of the bike one step further, this is the right time to install the S3 head here. And a lot of people are asking me about the S3 head. If I found any difference by using it, I found a great deal of difference using the S3 head, especially the extreme one, that gives more space to the cylinder and adds more power in the low RPM and more torque. But on the 2025 it was power not needed, because the bike is set it up this way, in a way that works perfectly well without it. So it's up to you if you want to add the S3 head or not. Πολύ ωραίο καθάρι πια πράγμα.
Όχι ακόμα. Μήπως φοράς δεν πήγα τζάμπα. Έμενα κάπου απλά.
Να βγάλω κάτι από εδώ. If you install the radiator guards, the basket, you won't be needing the radiator grills, the plastic ones, so you better as well take them off now and have access to the radiator. You will need to, unfortunately, empty the radiators to install the basket, because if you want to do them properly, you need to take them off. Put them in the basket and then reinstall them and refill them. That's the only job you have to do while you install the baskets. But it will save you €200 if you wanna just protect them at no cost. Just install the basket. That's it. I just said I should get a hammer. So my main problem is that I need these to do proper job. Much better. It looks like a grenade, but it's not a grenade. It's a chamber that they hold all the liquids and the fluids, so you don't waste them out in the environment. So you keep them in here, and it's a thing. In order to start fixing the carburetor, you will need lots and lots of screwdrivers, pliers, and mainly these tools here.
Τεστ αναλυτικά.
Ο Γιάννης.
Allen 3. Allen 3. Socket 6 χιλιοστά. Και τα υπόλοιπα, ίσιο κατσαβίδι και τα υπόλοιπα τα ξέρεις.
So you need the number 3 Allen tool, number 6 socket, this tiny little pair of pinch plier, I don't know how to call that, 2 sizes of straight screwdrivers, and they're both intended to take off seals, I guess, and this and this, and another number 8 number 8 socket. That's for the base, I guess. You need to have also a paper towel here, because the ones that you are going to take off, they are going to be wet, so it's better to dry them on a piece of paper. So I show us. Do the magic. Yeah. Step 1, you remove the protection of this sprocket.
Εδώ υπάρχει μια βίδα η οποία πρέπει να βγει και πρέπει να πάμε από την άλλη μεριά.
I'll do it.
Πες το τι πρέπει να βγει από τα...
Εντελώς. This screw that I'm unscrewing now needs to be totally off. Yeah. And you need this long socket to take it on. That holds the protection of the sprocket in place. So now you have the sprocket exposed. Are we going to change this as well? The sprocket? Yeah. So during the carburetor, also you need to, not need, but it's very good because you take the protection of the sprocket out. It's the perfect time to install the 13 socket.
Also,
gear.
we need to remove this bolt on the engine.
Okay.
Over there.
What for?
Because we need to turn the carburetor.
Okay, the carburetor needs to be tilted.
And this is holding all the cables, all the tubes.
Yeah. So you needed to tilt it towards you and to be able to take the head off. So there is a holder over there and it helps hold the cable, so you won't be able to switch it. So take it off.
Next step is
Unscrew the head.
yes to take out the slide.
I don't know if you noticed, but I got 2 of these Wurth, how do you call that? Sprocket wrench, that you can use it like this, or you can twist it like this, and it does the job. At the beginning, he said we don't need such a thing. It's Chinese, cheap, and blah blah blah. Now he's using it.
So we remove the slide. So the next step is to push the spring. Okay. Let's continue. Πρέπει να γυρίσουμε το καρμπουλατάρ. So, we need to turn the carburetor.
To tilt it towards you, so you have access to the inside where the needle and the jetting are
So,
installed.
okay.
Setting up the carburetor, it is crucial that you adjust the floater of the cup in the carburetor. We shut it off, we close it a little bit. About what? A millimeter?
Yes.
About a millimeter. So what happens is when the bike is like on an uphill or a downhill, or when you drop the bike, you see overflowing of fuel coming out from the tubes. If you close it like by 1 millimeter, you will save all that fuel, A. B, you won't have issues starting the bike again, and you won't be losing fuel by waiting in line to do stuff, because most of the times you wait on an angle and the bike throws all the fuel down. So what we do is we take the cap off like that, and we just do the floater 1 millimeter close. We will show. Alright, you have three jets, right? You have the air, the fuel, and the idle,
Yes.
and one needle. And they need to be changed, all of them.
Yes. So.
First timers, you need to be extra careful with these because they're very tiny and rare. If you lose one of them, I just bet you there are not shops around to find these diameters and the holes and numbers. So save them.
Τοποθετούμε ότι είχε μέσα στο σακουλάκι. Όμορφα και ωραία.
Doesn't require extra expertise to do it, but if you're not sure about what you're doing, it's better to do it with someone who's done it before. Because I've seen it happening like 100 times in front of me. I never did it on my own because it's delicate business. It's a delicate job to do. Not extra tightening, not too much power. Actually, these are very fragile. They might look they're not, but they are. So you may as well prevent them from being scratched, you know, hold them properly. Don't just rub them on iron or don't put tools and stuff around them. This is the floater and it has a little missile shaped thing on. So what you need to do is take that missile shaped piece out by maneuvering, as you see Aris doing. Be careful not to bend it too much, because then it will become very, very fragile.
Το έχω βγάλει εκατομμύρια φορές και τώρα που τραβάμε με την κάμερα δεν θέλει να βγει.
Yep, it's a Murphy's Law. You want to push it with a needle, Aris? There you go. The little missile is here. You take the little plier and just close the gap there about a millimeter.
Όχι εδώ, μισό λεπτό έχει ακόμα.
So the story goes that in here you see a little bit of metal piece that needs to go under the plastic by 1 or 1.5 millimeter and stay there. So Alice is going to do it. Yep. So what that will do is push this little missile lower inside the overflow tube. This means that once the floater gets filled with fuel, it will block the outcome faster and save you a lot of gas. It's a proven solution. And once you do it, just fill it back in. Make sure you put everything back correctly, and you will see the results in your first ride. Because we statistically used a full tank of fuel every 80 kilometers in our rides, and if we don't do that and we do the same amount of riding, we do need maybe a liter more, 1 liter of fuel more, and this is all overflow. So this is how it is. Fill it back in. And install the cap again. Back. I don't know if you call it a cap. We call it a cap.
Είναι λεκανάκι.
Yeah. Who knows? From now on, you call it a cap as well. So what you need to do is just number 6. You just unscrew this. Once you unscrew it, you have access to the needle. What Aris will do is take the safety ring off, put it 1 space lower, so
From the bottom.
2 from the bottom. It's actually on the 4th, so it's going to be on the 3rd now. And what will happen is that the bike will become more linear. We call it poor, will run poorly, but for temperatures from 18 to 25, 17 to 25, and this amount of riding that we do is the proper setting to save fuel and have the bike running a little bit more torquey and not so aggressively. So that's a mandatory fix. Passing this to my colleague. You need to be careful on how you unscrew these, because they are not iron, it's a mixed metal. If you destroy this, it's a big deal to find a new one.
Okay. Let's do it.
We have been told that the next bike is going to be put it up together and set it up by Alexia on her own, but she's a liar, she didn't do it.
Δεν κάνεις πόσο όμορφα είναι τα νύχια της Σοφίας.
Τέλεια,
Αλλά φανταστικά. Τώρα κάθομαι και βλέπω, λέω, έχουν στολίσει το κινητό μου να πούμε. Ωραία.
Okay.
When I lived in the States, there were scissors like this that had a warning label on that they are not designed for use to cut nails. And believe me, I saw a guy in the States cutting his own nails using such a pair of scissors. So now I know why they put the warning labels on. You will see a lot of warning labels on this, and this way you will realize that it is intended for the USA market. Since you see 0, it's not for the USA market. It happened to me once, and another thing that was different was that the instrument was turned into miles, and it took me a while to switch it to kilometers. Just a fun fact. We put it, we installed the needle, we installed the fuel, air and idle jetting. You have to make sure you tighten everything correctly, put it back in their own places. And you will need to adjust the air that the carburetor is going to be using to burn the fuel on the outside, not the air, because many people tell me, what is the air on the carburetor? Carburetor, in order to consume the fuel it has inside and throw it into the engine, it has to mix it with some air. So this mix happens here.
From totally closed.
So you close it all the way to the left. It's totally open, I think. Or all the way to the right.
Totally closed, yes.
All the way to the right is totally closed.
Yes.
And
so we turn back.
4, 3.
Μία στροφή και ένα τέταρτο.
Okay, so you need to do 1 1/4 of a total turn. So you do 1 turn and 1/4. So what will happen if this go wrong? The bike will work either without holding idle, or at the beginning of the throttling the bike will be mingled, it won't be clear. So if you want to experiment, it's better to do like 1/4 to 1/4 and try your throttling. It needs to be linear, it needs to be clear. If something is wrong with the sound of it, it's the air by 80%. Okay, so the mixture gets rich if you turn the air screw clockwise, and becomes more poor if you turn the air screw anti-clockwise. Rich and poor in mixture of air. So more air means more explosion, less air means less explosion. So it's up to you.
Και από τώρα, επειδή είναι πολύ ξεπλεγμένο το πλατή, θα πάμε όσο με το μάτι λίγο να είναι κοντά. Έτοιμο. Έχεις μπει στο ρόλο σου. Μιλάμε, έχει υδρώσει, δες με, έχει υδρώσει. Ωραία, αυτά είναι όλα έτοιμα.
The idle screw, you will see it needs adjusting, but it's better to do it once you turn on the bike, you start the engine. What just now did was screw it all the way in. It's up to you what you want to do. Step 2 after this, sprocket. The front sprocket needs to be extracted.
And also we need to put
Button,
straps
a tie wrap.
here.
Okay, yeah. There is a fear that the oil injection system will stop working because the tube that brings the oil inside the reed, before the reed, gets hurt or by a branch gets extracted, pulled off. So we do put a tie-up, well tightened, exactly on the base of this valve here. This way you make sure that it will be hard to take it off. So that's one of the things that we do on the bike before we set it up.
Ναι. Πρώτα πρέπει να βγάλουμε την παλιά.
At this point, I need to thank Beta, I don't know how, for installing the proper rear sprocket, because it was a pain in the butt to just take it off and reinstall the rear one. You need the crash gun, you need the tools, you need everything. So it's installed, nothing to do here. So the only thing that's left is to install the front one, which for him is a piece of cake, because you take the seal off, the safety ring off, you just put it out like this, install the new one. It's the Murphy's Law that everything has to be hard, because we're shooting the damn thing. 13 in front.
Συνήθως χρησιμοποιούμε το γνήσιο γιατί κρατάει.
Always use the factory one. The sprockets are, according to my recent experience, are not a thing to play with, because I shaved my rear sprocket teeth recently, and now I know. Job done. And now the chain is a little bit loose, so you need to adjust it from the adjustment here, and that's it. The whole job is done easily. Otherwise you would have to take off the wheel, take the chain off, cut the chain, replace the sprocket rear, reinstall screw glue and everything, and it will take another 30 minutes, 40 minutes to do that. So we are saved by the bell. We will take the wheel off eventually because we need to change the tires, but not now. So today we are going to set up the X Pro, and we're planning